Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the stream. It is I, DIGI Driver, welcoming you to your Sunday, September, really? Sunday, January 8th, 2023. We are back to do some more scenery dev for Plymouth Municipal Airport, Kilo Papa Yankee Mike. And I have a few things that I'm going to be doing today. Probably loading up the sim to see how it looks as usual. But I'll start out with me spending time inside Blender, showing you guys some things that I've done, and hopefully some new things to add. I've got a lot of windows to add, and I've got a few things that I want to do tonight before we call it a night. We'll see how far we get. We'll see how much time we spend on stream, but otherwise, welcome aboard. What's my volume like now? I think that's interesting. Can't really tell if the music's still playing from the speaker monitor settings in my stream software, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it is at 8%. And yes, this is a no copyright lo-fi Christmas playlist, but it's also sufficiently ambiguous enough for me to play it kind of right now as a prelude to what I'm hoping will be winter snow in my area. But at the same time, I'm hardcore, you know, Christmas dude. Like, I don't want to let go of me, being in the Christmassy mood. So, you know, I want to spend a little bit more time here and reflect and do some dev work. So, let me get started and probably keep a separate window open so I can monitor chat as well. But again, folks, welcome aboard. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you've had a very good weekend. And I am going to be doing some work, some continued work, on the Alpha 1 Flight Services terminal. So, there we go. Got my window open. Let's get underway, shall we? And hopefully there's not too much noise from like my headphone setup, but we'll see. Basically, we've gotten to the point where the entrance now has the 3 windows and the front door. I haven't added the handle yet. I might do that today just to have it. And then we'll do that kind of like on the other side. But if I'm going to do anything more than a window on the other side, we're going to make a window here and the door. The door is going to be offset because of what I believe the floor plan is to this area. My friend Eric Flight has not given me pictures of the interior, but I do have some pictures through Google Street View. So I'll be using them as an inspiration for the build. But let me pop this and hide the roof and hide the weather exclusion, and then we can get started. So this is terminal walls, and now you see that we have things that we've set aside. These are all going to be areas for windows. And then once we have the windows chopped, this will be the door. Now, I'm trying to figure out what the best way is going to be to do this without really messing this up. However, it's kind of difficult to do. I'm talking about chopping these things down, of course. So, what I'm going to want to do is possibly do all these one at a time or select all the individual windows. And yeah, nothing more to do but to get started. Let me go ahead and select the back side of this one as well. We'll take both faces and turn them into a separate object. But before I do anything, let me go ahead and save a new revision. revision 11 is now live, and I've got both sides of that area selected, so I should be able to turn that into a window. However, I'm not sure if it's a better idea for me to select all the faces and then break out the individual ones again, because I think that's what I've been doing. Right, hold on. And there we go. There are the faces for the windows. We should be able to separate them. And what am I going to say? Right, charter terminal, ramp window walls. Ramp window walls. Because window walls represents what I did up front. Ramp window, because this is the ramp area. So, tab, that takes care of that. And now we can select them and then begin messing with the individual pieces. Now, something that I should do is grab the height coordinates for these windows so I know where the divisions should go. Z coordinates listed right there. And now we can split this window here. The trick is going to be splitting this effectively so I know where it has to go. But I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to change the Z coordinate and see where it winds up. So now I have an idea. Kind of like in the middle of this line of bricks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth line down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So we're doing that to reduce the amount of kind of like displacement, if you will, that happens with these textures. At least that's the way I like to think about it. Now I've grabbed this, we can see what the Z coordinate is for the very bottom of that border. And we can grab this, go right back here, adjust the Z border, and bam. And yeah, there is some inconsistency there, but at the same time, it's not as much as it was, excuse me, when I was moving it into place. All right, chat, give me just a moment. I'm just double checking my levels. Hey, what's up there, textures? Hello, Dane Flats. Welcome aboard, friend. Good to have you here. Hope you enjoyed your Sunday today. I am doing the scenery dev things. Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. And now I'm going to move to the other side, duplicate these lines, these levels, because I need them to be correct. Now, with this texture, it's a bit more forgiving. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. You need walk-on music. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And you know what? I should pay you a visit. You are one of the folks that I've seen on Twitch for a while, and you know, especially these days when some of the greats have stepped off the scene, maybe we need to, pay more attention to the folks that are still sticking around and still spending time with the fam. Because, like you say, we do this for the company. 8 years. Wow. Wambi, hello, my friend. Glad to have you aboard. We are doing the dev, and it is 9:19 p.m. Eastern Time as I do a late session. Not something I normally do, but today I did a little bit of reorganization. Mrs. DG and I moved some stuff around, and as it turned out, it became very beneficial. Not to mention that in a little while, we're going to be dealing with her having some surgery again, and she's going to be laid up for a while. So, best to do these things as soon as possible. But 8 years, Dane, wow, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I think I'm 5 years streaming now. Like actually doing it. I don't want to say consistently, but ever since I started. So when I started, I was following people like, I started by getting inspired by people like Chewy94, Brad M, Cat Strader, John Fly, and I said, okay, let me give this a shot. And the landscape has changed in the past 5 years. I know that for a fact. But this actually looks pretty good. So I think we're gonna grab these faces and split them out like we normally do. And since I have an idea of what I did on the other side, this shouldn't take as long. We're gonna call this ramp window frame 1, and then we'll go on from there. So separate the selection and call this ramp window frame 1. Bam. And there we go. It's chosen. You made them all. Man. Like, I remember being inspired by people like that to be a flight sim streamer, just to fly a plane to fake places. And I was like, man, like, we would have like, wide spanning conversations in chat and stuff like that. And it was great and it was hard at the same time because once you start streaming for yourself, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Now I understand like why this isn't as easy to do consistently because you have to be, you have to pursue your audience. You have to get people to come to your channel. You have to make a name for yourself. So ultimately, it made you too. Well, thank you, thank you. Naming the objects, Wombi, it does kind of get me out of trouble because once I understand, like even if you have a relatively non-ambiguous name for something, it gets you out of the valley of going, oh wait, what's this? What did I name this for? What's the purpose of it? And it 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 helps me out long term. Given the point where I am in life, help is a good thing. All right, let's inset this a bit. It's not going to matter how much I inset it because I'm going to be using these measurements as a guide. And this is what I mean. So I can grab these vertices, this vertex in particular, and find out the y and the x coordinates. But you want to know what? Actually, I don't need to do that. I shouldn't do that. I need to do some math. I need to get the numbers because I need to determine what the distance is between those vertices in x and y coordinates. So this is where knowing math comes in handy, and it's been a while since I've been in school, so yeah. Not to worry, chat, not to worry. All right. So, oh, right now, me just wants to get it done. Yeah, you'd be surprised just how many similarities scenery development and software development have in common. Because essentially what happens is it's kind of like that. You get a case of get there-itis, and if you're creating a piece of software, it's like just get it done, just get it done. But that's not always the best way to approach the problem. As a matter of fact, that gets you in trouble pretty quickly. And I mean really quickly. So you got to be careful. Hmm, that number's actually the same. Interesting. Hang on, chat. So if that number is the same, then this number should also be the same. No, 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 no. That's why it's not the same. Hello. All right, so 87405. I'm doing some quick math here, chat. 3205. It's going to be 84200. So 4200. There we go. Okay, there we don't go. That's, oh, wait. Hold on. Something's wrong. I need to be careful because I think the numbers were blown out of proportion. I'm missing something. Two-faced disc. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. It's nice to see you. I hope that you've had a great weekend. Folks, pardon me for a moment. Where are my manners? If you want to check out some of these amazing people that we have in chat, well, first off, let me share the link for the music in case you want to listen to it and you're not over Christmas like me. Second, if you're looking to check some people out that are streamers online, we will start with Dane Flats, an 8-year veteran of flight sim streaming and somebody who flies a CRJ on stream on a regular or pretty close to it. Also, my friend Wambi, who is also a scenery creator and does it really well. And my good friend of the stream, Two-Faced Disc, who is also a flight sim streamer and also a variety streamer as well. I have seen him stream, let's see, PUBG. I've seen him stream DCS. I've seen him stream flight sim. And a good time was had. Believe me. Believe me. So I appreciate having you all on stream today. And I'm definitely grateful to have you guys here. So, wait. Am I not looking at this properly? I wonder if it's just a perspective problem. Stand by. Okay, so we have that. Oh, that's probably why. Womp, womp, womp. I was looking at the wrong numbers, chat. That would explain my calculation error. All right, so 86795. There we go. That's a lot better. This is why my stuff was off. That's why it was way off. So let's go ahead and redo our calculations again. And we're going to subtract a much smaller number from this. And then we get 86701. That should make it a lot more palatable. 6701. That's a lot better. By the way, Two-Faced, once again, I know you covered this on your Discord, but it is very nice to see you streaming. Very nice to see you streaming. I know that you were away from stream for a while because of just technical difficulties you were having with your setup, and it's very nice to see you again. So, by all means, seriously, welcome back. So, we'll take this number and we will add 704 to it. 68415. All right. 68415. I guess that works. Yeah, Two-Face. It was definitely an enjoyable time. Yeah, Dane Flats. Wombi has done some scenery, and has got a lot of at least more than a few examples on FlightSim.to. Wombi, if you want to, go ahead and put up your link in chat for your profile on FlightSim.to. That way, Dane can check it out. But yeah, all about helping people get promoted on there. So definitely. Thank you, Two-Face. I will say though, Wombi gives me a run for my money just because of the level of attention to detail. I'm starting out as a newbie. I'm not even gonna lie, and it is nice to see so much more in terms of like individual details that Wombi's putting down in the projects I've seen. So, I mean, it's just nice to see. It literally is nice to see. And I can take this number again. There we go. That's the number I was looking for, but that I misused. So we will take this number and subtract appropriately. All right, give me a bit. I believe it was 3205, correct? Yes, it was. Okay, now we have the proper number to use. What was that, 48894? Oops, wrong one. Wait, hold on. There we go, 48894. That's a lot better. Right. By the way, folks, let me know if the volume levels are too high or too low, if you're hearing too much noise, whatever. I can always adjust to make sure you guys are taken care of. And we'll see the results in a bit once we hop into the sim, just to catch it. The beauty of doing some calculations for values is that once you find out what values you have to use, you can just drop them into the other vertices. And just like that, that window frame is starting to take shape. Of course, I need to see how these things work out and do the things. So 13896 minus 3205 is 10691. 10691. There we go. And we can copy that Z value and move it over. But Digi, like, why are you spending so much time like on scenery dev? It's so boring. Well, not gonna lie, certainly didn't certainly not going to paint a rose-colored picture of scenery development. It's great when it's done, and it's great to have that determination to want to do something really cool, but it's also it's also challenging, and you have to have the patience and the determination to want to do stuff like this on a regular basis. It's literally not something you do inside of a day. Yeah, yeah. Vertical Sim was one of the people that inspired me to get into scenery development. The rest of it, believe it or not, happened what am I trying to say? When I went to FS 2020 Scenery Creation. It is a subreddit, and I think I still have the link. Who said it's boring? It needs to be corrected. Someone on the internet is wrong. Well, I mean, it's just me playing, like worst case scenario. But I was looking for a link. That's right. Let me go here. I will show you, I will show you the very page that actually really kind of got me going. Which one was it? It was KHIG? No, 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 no. Let's see if I can find my stuff under a username. No, I guess not. So, give me a few seconds and I will find something that I had here. Because I put some of my initial posts about scenery on FlightSim. Not FlightSim.to, on FS 2020 creation. And I know mine didn't get a lot of hits, but I should have been able to find it by now. I also haven't been on this for a while. Oh, DIGI, come on, man. Search by new. And now I can just go back chronologically. It was back from like June, July. So where are we? Three months ago, 4 months ago. Yeah, it would have been more. Hold on. Looking. Well, let me at least show you something that I did before. This was the very first airport that I released on FlightSim.to. And this is the link that I have on the FS 2020 creation site. So, if you click on that link, you'll see the first airport that I built. And it's built using default assets, and it's got no custom scenery at all. Like a proper noob release. But at the same time, it was something that I wanted to do because somebody had requested it. And then I did another airport, and then by the time I got to the third airport, I'm like, wait a minute, this is kind of cool. I want to do this more. And that's when I released a payware airport on Sim Market under the company name of DIGI Scenery Studio. So there you go. Okay, now I need to grab the vertex information because I need to make the other side of that frame be exactly the same. However, the beauty of this is, now that I have those coordinates, I can make my changes a lot quicker. And I can grab the z-coordinate information as well. And yeah, I changed the y-coordinate, but I'm going to grab the z-coordinate for the other point because I can do that category of changes while I'm doing the other stuff. Okay, and now we have that. And I'm pretty sure the z-coordinate insets are going to be the same across the board because we're not going to have windows that are going to be taller or shorter than each other. These are all going to be consistent. However, I don't know if they're going to be consistently wide since we have a lot of window divisions, if you will. And I need to get the y-coordinates for this side. So we'll grab one of these points. This one's fine. And we'll move them in. And there we go. We've got the window frame in, and then I'm going to push in a bit more. This looks so weird when I look at it from above, but then it resolves itself no problem. Yeah, I'm not going to go with the way that looks because... Oh, well, that would explain things, wouldn't it? All right, stand by, chat. Let me just make sure I fix some things. Because these do not need to be three-dimensional points. I must have dragged it at some point. Like, I had this selector on it. But that's okay. Let me go here. And I think we should be okay. That was what I was looking for before. Lesson learned. If something looks really weird, it's on purpose. Check it out. Okay, so there we go. And I think I'm going to select all these faces. And there is probably a much, much easier way to do all that, but I don't know. However, Wambi, if you are actually listening, I did do something over the weekend. We talked about this on your stream a bit, but I did figure out what commands allow me to do things like exporting my textures and saving and doing things like that. So I think this week, as I do scenery dev, I'm going to use my Raspberry Pi Pico to be my shortcut helper and allow me to reduce saving the file and exporting it from like 3 or 4 or 5 individual clicks to one button press. What's its total accident? I'm sorry. my brain is just complete just goop. And if it's not complete goop, it's like soggy cereal right now. But I presume we're talking about scenery dev, like I said. But I have this selected, and I'm gonna do window frame. Wait, frame one inner. Ah, there we go. Did I? I just go for it. Okay, so we've got the frame, and this is the window walls. So I think, okay, I know what I did wrong. Stand by, chat. There we go. I selected too much. This is the window frame. I just want what's inside the window frame. Oops. Didn't hit the shift key. Silly Digi. But, Two-Faced, in your defense, there are many things that I stumble across when I'm doing scenery development. So, yeah, sometimes it does feel like an accident, because I literally accidentally discovered a solution to a problem. But at the same time, it kind of makes it fun, because you're like, wait, that does what? Essentially. So now, oh, excuse me. That's what I want. All right. And we're going to create another interior, I think. Right, because that's the frame. And then we do the inner frame, which is just a little bit less. Right, there's my inner. Let's pick this and set it. So shift spacebar and I, and then we push it in a little bit, and there's my inset. Actually, hold on. No, no, this is right. This is right. At least I think it is. Inner. Inner does what? Inner is supposed to be this. So, wait, I forget. Did I split this? Did I split this before I did that or afterwards? I think I split it. I split it after. No, I'm sorry. I split it before. Yeah, so hold on. We'll change that. And then I'll do this. Bam. And do it on the other side as well. Loop cut to the inside and done. And now we have essentially what I believe is going to be the framework for the same inner window frame that we had from the other side. And like we did before, we need to figure out what these numbers mean so that we can replicate the window frame. I know I could probably just copy that, put it there, save myself the trouble, but then I think I'd also have to rejoin the textures, rejoin the polygons. And while it is theoretically possible for me to do that, it's going to add a degree of complexity that I don't want to deal with right now. It's surprising to think that just making sure 8 individual points for the polygons have to fit a certain way, but this is kind of like the process that I've developed, and changing it now I think would just introduce more complexity for me. Maybe in future projects I'll just figure out an easier way to do it, but instead of copying and moving windows around, I just kind of build them every time I do it. So this is why sometimes when I'm doing streams like this, it's great to explain the process, but this also isn't the kind of stream that I want to do if I'm like, blazing development. Um, I've done I've done like not marathon streams, but like sprints where I've put a whole bunch of things down at the airport, like like the taxi lines, the points, stuff like that. That's using the SDK, and the SDK lets you do things quickly. So you can talk and do it at the same time, but since we're going over these points, grabbing the numbers, doing the calculations, it takes more time to do that. All right, folks, give me a bit. I'm gonna get up, stretch my legs, take a quick break, and come back in just a minute or two. Stand by. All right, folks, I am back. There we go. Got up, moved around a little bit, got some soda for the missus, and I am back. We're going to grab some more data and keep working on these windows to see if I can make one more window today. But one of the things that I was talking about earlier was how I had bought a piece of equipment, like a little Christmas gift to myself. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of something called a Raspberry Pi Pico. Now, if you are into tech things, then you might have heard about the Raspberry Pi, which is it's a, what am I saying? It's a miniature computer, and it allows you to basically do a whole bunch of stuff that you would essentially be able to do with a regular computer. When they first came out some 5+ years ago, I think it was maybe even 10 years ago, you could get a Raspberry Pi and even a Raspberry Pi computer kit for about between 50 to 100 bucks. And that was everything that you needed to get a Raspberry Pi, power cord, an SD card, a case, all the things required to do that. But the Raspberry Pi Foundation has since um, run into some logistical issues with regards to being able to have enough to create enough Raspberry Pis, and also deal with vendors that are creating for them. So because of that, prices of those things have gone up significantly. I wanted to get my hands on a Raspberry Pi because I have one that's doing something else for me back home. I'm saying back home, I am home, but I have a Raspberry Pi that's doing something for me on the network. Oh, yeah, yeah. So you're ahead of me just a bit, Wambi. I'm getting to you. So I tried to buy a Raspberry Pi over Christmas, and I couldn't. They're just, I mean, they're so expensive. Even used models, they're like for an entire kit, they're asking between, like, these are used models. They're asking between 70 to 100 bucks for the kind of kits that I normally, the kind of kits that I like to buy, where you get your case, your power supply, everything you need to get started. So I was like, well, this sucks, because I think I had at one point like 40 bucks to spend, and I was like, well, like, what can I find? I couldn't find diddly. So I was just like, well, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to figure that stuff out otherwise. And then I got a little chump change, and I was like, wait a minute. Um, what about this? Arduino did not cross my mind at the time because I guess I was fixated on Raspberry Pi solution. Now, what came of it was I said, okay, I'm going to go on, like some people use AliExpress, some people use Amazon. I'm going to go on, this online website where I can buy a whole bunch of stuff and get it shipped to my house. And I found a Raspberry Pi Pico starter kit. Now, I had never played around with microcontrollers, so it was an educational experience for me. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. This could be interesting. Da, 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 da. And one thing led to another. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's what I'm going to do. So I bought a Raspberry Pi Pico, a starter kit. And over the course of a weekend, I went from like getting it to getting it unwrapped, and started like playing with it, and I was able to, I don't know, make the onboard LED light up, and then I was able to make the make the make an external LED light up because of the wiring that I had to do. And then after that, it was get a button press to work. So essentially, I've been learning how to use microcontrollers over the course of the past 2 or 3 weekends, and it's been fun, but it's also opening me up to the possibility of being like, well, if I know how to do this, can I make the microcontroller do that? And the make the microcontroller do that question is like, can I simplify the way that I do things like working with Blender? Can I create a device that lets me, hit a button for the autopilot in Flight Simulator? And that's quite doable, apparently. So there we go. It's kind of scratched my imagination, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen as a result of it. So there you go. And I was able to create a macro that actually lets me save my work in Blender. But I'm not going to stop at just having one button do one action. I'm going to tie more key presses to that action and figure out how to space them or how to time them so I can do multiple actions with one button press. 77288. There we go. And is that right? I think it is actually. Actually, no, this is wrong. That number is not supposed to be that number. Give me the calculations, please. I need 832. Yeah, it's 48062. That's where this should be. 48062. And that's the Z-value that we're going to use for the interior window frame. And do the same here. 10691 minus 832 gives me 9859. 09859. 09859. 859. Now I can copy that. Yes, sir. That's what we have to do to make things work out the way we want them to. So I need to add 270 to that number. That's going to be my Y coordinate for the other window, which is 77828. 77828. 7828. Done. There we go. That's my Y coordinate right there. And we can do this. Used a module from eBay with 5 rotary encoders to talk to the Arduino. You have 3D printed and built a small box to control the GPS part of the G1000. Oh, yeah, yeah. I was reading, I read your second and third comments before I read your first. Yeah, yeah. You and I, you and me, you and me, you and I are in the same field. I will, I will much more quickly mess around with a piece of equipment so that I can actually make it do something before I actually create something, let's just say, elegant. I am more of a tinkerer and a software developer than I am an artist. I am curious about 3D printing. 86432. I am curious about it. 6432. But at the same time, like my patience level, I run out of I guess you could say I run out of cognitive resources very quickly because I'm just like, narp. But if I could figure out a way to 3D print the casing or the stuff that I need to do to make something beautiful happen, then I might create peripherals. Like my thing was creating a custom FMC last year. I never did it, but now I have an idea. So now I'm gonna have to do the same thing with these windows here. But like I said before, I will much more readily design a Raspberry Pi Pico or Pico Suite that will allow me to create shortcut keys for Blender before I start doing things like that for Flight Sim. Because if I can create things that will allow me to do Blender work more quickly, I will do that. I forgot to copy my values. That's why I freaked out. Okay. All right, get that value and we'll move it over. I'm so not good at 3D printing. I used Blender and ripped buttons and knobs out of MSFS models, then modeled a case around it with room for the buttons. But I'll tell you what, man, that's better than me. At least you did it. At least you did it. I still have to learn the process of actually doing the things. But yeah, hats off to you for trying. That's impressive to me. So seriously, you get respect from me just for that. I think eventually I would wind up at a point where I could 3D print components and use them. If you really want to see something which tripped me up in a major way, let's see, what was it? Microcontroller, HID, custom mouse. I might be able to find a picture, but believe me when I say I found something someone used to create an HID device using a microcontroller, which looks like something straight out of like just science fiction. Let me see if I can find it. Sidebar. uh, where is it? Hmm. Well, okay. I will I'll give you a link to something I found online, which is basically to a point what where's that picture? This is essentially, the kind of trouble you can get into really quick. Essentially, you can start to create, HID devices and then create things like custom like keyboards and mice, but that's not the image that I wanted to show you. There was something else that I found somewhere. It was, oh, you know what? I probably saved the picture somewhere. It's either on my phone or on my computer. And if I can find it, I might be able to remember. I probably won't remember where it was that I posted it, but I can try to at least explain it to you. No, I guess I didn't see the picture. Oh well. But there you go. Now, what value did I copy? What value did I copy? Oh, no, not that. Give me, give me the Z value. Okay, we'll copy that. Make sure everything's on the up and up. I think, yeah, these have to be adjusted. Okay. Now, let's grab the Y coordinates. Yeah, one day I think I'd like to learn how to automate these actions so I can create, uh, you know, windowed architecture more easily. One day I almost bought a plugin to not prefab, but create windows and things like that more quickly. And I chickened out because I told myself, no, 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 no. Like, create the things so that you can actually, you don't have to rely on a third party plugin. And when you figure out how to create them from scratch or by hand, you won't have to rely on a plugin to do that. And I think it makes the journey a little bit more worth it when you know that you've actually spent time figuring out how things work. The problem is, I'm impatient. I'm impatient in certain things. So when you get to a place like that where you're like, I don't know, blah, 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 and you see something that works, you're like, wait, I can do that in how much time? The problem, of course, is that you forget there's a price tag attached. Like, if you buy something that helps you accomplish the task, you are losing the ability, not losing the ability, but losing some of the motivation to learn how to do it yourself. And the older I get, the more I appreciate taking the time to handcraft things on your own so that you create something very nice. Okay, so we've got this Y set, but we need the Y on the other side of that window set. And we'll copy that right now. And I think that should be the last coordinate that I need for that window. Bear in mind, of course, folks, that I'm not going to be supremely going nuts on the design of the windows, like the latches, the releases, all that stuff. It's just kind of basic, but at the same time, a little bit more detailed than my last project. So, you know, I think that's it actually. All right, here's what we do. We select everything like we usually do, and then we can make a selection to create a window out of this. And there we go. Now, this is the entire window inner. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I get it. I don't need to pick everything. So is this going to be window one? Which one? Which one is it? It's that's window one, that's window two. Okay, got it. That's going to be window one. Okay. Did I pick anything else? No, I think I just got the window panes. Okay, and now we can do the same thing for window two. And go to window two, and bam. Okay, now we have the windows chosen. So some of you folks have seen this, some of you haven't. But essentially, this is what we can do. Now that we have the windows that we can select, first thing we're going to do is make it easier on ourselves. We're going to select the window frame and we're going to apply base material to it. So I think the window frame is that. And then we pick window frame inner, and that's usually the inner material, which is a slight variation in color. It's hard to see, but essentially there is just a touch of difference, which makes it, or hopefully makes it visible. And now, for the windows themselves, we pick the window material, which is essentially just a cheat. Not a cheat, but we've already chosen the MSFS glass material, and we can just apply the window material here. And now you can see through the window. Look at that. But we're not done yet, because if I export it just like this, it's not going to work. And there's a reason why it's not going to work. The reason why is because these windows aren't solid yet. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that through an optical illusion and through actually completing the polygon. Hey, Rolling Mao. Hope you're doing very well, my friend. Enjoy the lurk or hang out as long as you want. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for stopping by. And Arrow Flyer, good to see you, friend. We are working on windows again. And we have this is going to be the fourth window we've done. And that's going to be the door. There's going to be another door out here. And we've got like 3 or 4 more windows to build. We won't build them all tonight, but essentially I'm just doing one on stream. And then we'll see what else we can do. But we'll grab these edges and start actually creating at least the illusion of full objects. And once we have this, wait, hold on, actually. I want to do this the right way. Or at least I want to do this consistently. There we go. I go outside to inside, and that should do it. There we go. That's better. All right, so the frames are now more easy to see. And again, like I said, these are very simple, like extremely simple. The goal is to give the illusion of 3 dimensions. Well, these are 3-dimensional, but I'm saying make these simple 3-dimensional polygons because I don't want to go nuts with window polygons and be like, oh, like if you walk close enough to the windows, they'll open up for you. I mean, yeah, you could do that with an event in the sim, but I don't want to create, an individual window latch that has like 50 polygons just for like the 2 screws that hold it together. That's not a good use of your VRAM. At least, while I could do it, it's probably not a good idea. Do you know what I mean? So let me just take my time. Okay, so I have to pick the edges of these windows and flip sides because for some strange reason it does not let me just do a left click and then a shift left click. I have to do a left click, I have to go to the other side of the window and then do a shift left click and then F. And these are transparent, so I really got to pay attention to make sure that I'm actually clicking both sides and then bridging it. Why is it hard to do? It's not hard to do. You just have to remember to do it. Okay. Folks, I'm absolutely just stunned that as many of you are here watching me do this. Thank you so much for stopping in tonight. Thanks for saying hello. I am, of course, DIGI Driver. I am an occasional actual flying flight sim streamer, but mostly I have traded my captain's epaulettes for construction equipment because I am building sceneries for MSFS, and eventually, I would like to do so for what's it called? X-Plane as well. But of course, that requires a few things. It requires time, discipline, and overall commitment to the task. Now, I do have commitment to the task, but I will say that my discipline has been a little bit lax lately. Okay, so is this actually good? I guess I only got one way to find out. So let me do this. Let me save my work, and we're going to export this like we usually do. This is revision 11 of the building of the Alpha 1 building area. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and now I have these things output, and I'm going to move some stuff around. There we go. Okay. Excuse me, what you're not seeing is me accessing my file system, because I'm going to grab the actual output files, and we're going to actually do a build, but I'm going to do a build outside of MSFS. And the reason why I'm going to do that is very simple. You can actually make changes using Blender, export your changes, and dump them into the output folder while you're using MSFS. There's a problem though. You can't do that if you are going to, I think, change materials of the object you're outputting. At least I haven't figured out a way to do it, which usually means if I'm going to change or add or remove materials from something, easiest thing I can do is exit MSFS or don't start MSFS until I've actually completed my materials and then actually, built them and run them through the FS package tool executable. That is something which you use to allow you to build things. DIGI money. Sky Command, hello Fred. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. We are doing more dev work. Doing more dev work right now. Thank you for saying hello. Folks, if you are looking for a soulful flight sim streamer, Sky Command, he's got street cred. He's got street cred. So, let me throw up that link. Give Sky Command a follow if you have not already done so. Another one of the DIGI fam. And now we have just finished our render and it is complete. So let me go ahead and fire up the sim. It should be on mute, so I don't think we're gonna have a problem with, sound and whatnot. But let me go ahead and swap over. I'll open up the window. I'll switch the window from Blender to the sim once we actually get it loaded, or once it starts loading, I should say. I'm going to take advantage of the break to get up and stretch my legs. And now I think the MSFS window is open, so I'll switch over to it. There we go. I'll keep it muted for now while we load in. But yeah, folks, we've been working on Plymouth for a while now, and I'll be as transparent with you as I can be. I have enjoyed it. It's also frustrated me at times because I have been learning how to do new things with the environment, with Blender, with the SDK, And when you're learning and you're continuing to grow yourself, you're going to run into situations where you get frustrated because you're not accomplishing as much as you want to quickly. Of course, I look around me and I see other flight sim developers, especially the companies, releasing big, massive airports. And I'm like, what am I doing? The answer is simple. I'm learning. They're established. They're working on humongous airports. I'm working on a general aviation airport. Like, the differences in scale, in technology, in the fact that they're doing this as a full-time job and I'm doing this as a hobbyist, those are things that I have to keep reminding myself of every single time I'm tempted to be like, DIGI, you need to be doing this better. Like, well, I'm learning. Failing is a great way to learn because you figure out ways not to do things. But comparing myself to scenery development companies that are established, that's a bad idea. And I have my friends, I have Mrs. Digi telling me this on a regular basis, like, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Don't beat yourself up. Do what you need to do. And it's rough. It's rough. Also, folks, I'm not gonna go ahead and lie. I want to be upfront with you. The past couple of months have been rough. We've been stepping through just some unexpectedly choppy waters in terms of life. But God is good. The Lord has given us the strength to take each day. But sometimes some days are more uphill walks than others. But I am grateful for each day that we get and for the ability to do things like this because I would like to continue making airports. I've got like 32 of them to build, period. So let me go ahead and pull this up for a daytime romp at Plymouth, and we're going to load in right now. Ooh, wow, wherever that is, that's a nice looking castle. Sheesh. Goodness, that's beautiful. All right, welcome back to Plymouth Municipal Airport. This is just the default scenery we're loading in. And yes, I am using Rex AccuSeason for things like, what was I going to say? For foliage. Are we good? I think we're good right now. I think I swapped to a different TV/monitor, so my window looks a little bit smaller than it should. I'll probably work on that off stream, but let me go ahead and load it into the project. Okay, so for those of you that are uninitiated and are wondering what I'm doing at Plymouth Municipal Airport, let me take the editing windows off of all this so you can see what's happened. We have redone the runway so that it lines up with the satellite image. We are working to try to make these more consistent. I still have to figure out how to make the dark outline appear on these. I have a few ideas. And we have moved the default beacon from where it was. It was here before. We had to move it so it was here. But it does actually light up, which I'm very happy about. We have redone some of the airport markings, like I guess the blast pad area right here for the north-south runway. And I've also done a few things. I have painted individual spots for parking positions, and there are many parking positions you can choose from. Also, I used textures to cover up what the initial taxiway was here. These are going to be covered up by apron textures like this asphalt. But my friend Eric Flight basically told me the taxiway got extended to here. So the taxiway lines up with the taxiway on the other side of the east-west runway. So we changed it. I still have to clean up the textures a bit so they look a little bit nicer, but that's the idea. And now, of course, the piece de resistance is the custom polygons that I'm building here. These still need to be fixed in one way or another. I should probably create at least even a basic tarp texture for the top or something. But these are actually representations of the rental units that you can use to, I guess, store aircraft or store aircraft equipment. And I've created hangars that you can actually or should be able to taxi into in the sim. Don't mind the grass textures. I haven't replaced the apron textures yet, but these are one kind of hangar building that you can use. And don't mind me, this happens to me more often than not. When I am bouncing back and forth between versions, what happens is the actual building is hidden. I wish I knew why that happened so I could stop it from happening, but so be it. Oh, you want to know what I forgot to do? I forgot to select everything. Huh. Okay. Sit tight, chat. I'll fix this in a bit. I gotta enable the roof, weather exclusion, and then I gotta select everything. F3, export, GLTF 2.0. Oh, extended. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Standby. Bam. Bam. Okay, great. So, I forgot to actually select all the polygons. That's why nothing's showing up. But there we go. Oh, that's weird. For a moment I thought I wasn't actually showing updates on the sim. Okay, good, good. I know there's always lag, but I just didn't know if there was a lot of lag. Here's the building. I'll hide everything again. Eventually you're gonna have things like hallways, a sofa, sections where you can just sit down with people, offices. But yeah, we have a working window. It's supremely transparent, and this will actually let you be in here. Yeah, there's a difference. My render is slightly off for the windows, but I actually like the way this looks. So I'm going to make this area work for me. I'll wind up moving the paving and just redoing the grass texture so they look better, so that it's not as overgrown as it looks like right now. Because this just looks like, you're not taking care of your front lawn. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to be very selective about grass textures to use there. Now, as for the hangers, we've got hangers. I still have to figure out how to get rid of the gaps that appear, because I think for one, these aren't fully connected. I might want to fix that. But if you ignore that, you still have roof supports, You have a hanger entrance that's folded up. I haven't decided if I want to animate that yet. Might. I might. I'm not 100% sure. Not going to say that I will because there's a lot of hangers in here and I'm not sure if I want to animate them all or even just one. But we will see. Essentially, this is where we are. And there we go. You all saw me create a window for the terminal building or the flight school here today. I will be creating, I think, three more, one, two, and then three. And then the exit way to the ramp is going to be here. At first, I didn't think there was a door to get out that way, like you had to go through the hangars, but there is actually in real life. And Eric Flight did give me some pictures of the area so we could actually see that better. But up until this point, before I got started with the custom scenery dev, I did spend some time working on aligning the lines, creating custom placement of the lights so that the taxiways looked a little better, which is relevant when you start getting dark outside. So there is just like the tiniest bit of wiggle. I kind of like that because it's just it feels more realistic. I still haven't tested the taxiways yet, so I might have to do a little bit of work on that either this week or this month. And I do want to see if I can release the scenery by the end of January to get it out to Sim Market. So we'll see. If you are a part of the beta testing team, you will most likely be getting a copy of this to try out or early access copy. I don't have an official beta test team set up yet, but I do have uh, a, a, a bit of folks that I call upon to do early access release flybys when this gets close to release time. I still have to do some things like finishing a whole bunch of objects, buildings. This, I think, is going to be the state police hangar, and I still need to figure out how to actually create helipad start positions or create scenery that actually is just a helipad start spot, but we'll see. This is technically a start spot. You could actually start there with a plane, but I don't know how to create the helipad start spots yet. It's going to take me a little bit of time to figure out everything out. But like I said, is what it is. Give me a bit, folks. Damn it. Okay, I am back. Just checking up on one of my cats. I still need to do a whole bunch of stuff with regards to night lighting, and actually, you know what? I kind of don't. Some places I will. I do have night lighting set for the hangars, so I will be able to light them up at night. I don't know how to actually create it so that the lamps turn off during the day. It's something I have to figure out. It's probably something very simple, but once it's figured out, hopefully it will add to the display and make things a little bit nicer. Now, of course, I need to do a whole bunch of stuff. I need to, first off, finish separating this from the rest of the outside scenery, building fences so that, you know, it's obvious that this is an airport property. Probably creating some more signs so that we can actually have some, true to life signage out there. And once everything's done, then we can do some early tests and get everything set for release. Again, I'm shooting for the end of January, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it's gonna have to wait till February. I would much prefer not for that to happen, but we will see. I certainly need to make sure that everything's taken care of. We've got family things that are upcoming. I've got, my regular IRL job, which of course takes precedence because that's how I make money to pay bills. So that's how it goes. Maybe one day this will be my IRL job. I don't know, but it is fun to dream, or at least to make airports. And I want to keep at this because I want to finish this airport. This will be a great day for Eric Flight and anybody else that wants to fly out of Plymouth Municipal Airport. When we got started, the satellite imagery notwithstanding, the start positions were incorrect, and there weren't as many of them as you would have wanted or would have expected. Now I've learned about start positions, about certain sizings for start positions, so you can actually get certain kinds of planes to show up. And yeah, it's it's been an interesting trip, if you will. So, for example, the radius with these ramp GA positions actually control the category of aircraft that can spawn in. And that's not something that I knew at first. So it's an experience. Folks, it's 10:39 p.m. on the Eastern Coast. I normally stream at least once a week on Sundays around 2:30 in the afternoon and stream for like a couple of hours to do scenery dev. So first off, thank you so much for stopping in today to spend some time with me as I did a little bit of work in Blender and exported the results so you could see them. I am going to try really hard to get this airport done this month, and we'll see where we go from there. I've got lots of plans, lots of ideas, but as they say, the difference between a plan and a goal and a completed thing is, maybe writing it down and setting actual deadlines and getting it done. So I, as they say, have work to do. But I appreciate you guys stopping by today. Let's see who we can say hello to really quickly. It's a little too early for my friend Dr. 737, although I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine he's getting set up for a flight tonight, but again, I don't know if that's the case. I will check and see who else is available. Let me close this. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. I wasn't 100% sure Airflyer, but yeah, that's fine. Tell you what, folks, let's surprise one of our friends. Let's go ahead and raid Pure Luck right now. Pure Luck, a great friend of the channel and a avid flight sim streamer. So stand by for the raid, folks. And again, thank you so much for stopping in today and saying hello. Definitely appreciate having you guys on board. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you need the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. Thanks so much, folks. Stick around for the raid. We're going to go say hello to Pure Luck. Thank you, Two-Faced. And folks, Two-Faced Disc is back on Twitch. So Stop by Two Faced's stream tomorrow. I know I will. Thanks, and take care, folks. We'll see ya.